There's still a couple of games to go, but the transfer rumour mill is definitely up and running, isn't it? My word, we are being linked with a lot of players. But I'll tell you what, not only am I liking the different approach that we seem to be getting at West Ham at the moment, I'm really liking the players we're targeting. There's certainly a calibre of player we're looking at, and especially in terms of age as well, young up-and-coming players, which we've always talked about, haven't we, as fans? Why don't we go for players that are hungry and wanting to kick on rather than sort of going for players that we've have typically been overpaid, and you do question their commitment sometimes to the cause. So I'm really pleased by that, and actually I feel like I've got a fair amount of hope going into the summer now, although it's still early. I'm not going to get carried away. There's a long way to go yet. I was to say we've still got a couple of games to go this season yet. But basically, I want to talk about some of the transfer stuff and an update from EXWHU employee on the West Ham Way Patreon on the podcast. There's some really interesting news there. I want to talk about a couple of bits on that, and I also want to share something with you, which I'm going to do in a minute. But before I do so, if you're new to the channel, do subscribe. It takes 2 seconds to do so. It's free, and it's, as I say, it takes no time at all. And also hit that like button, because that's help us grow as a channel. So we really appreciate it. Talking about growing as a channel, I'm hoping to have an announcement, possibly even later today. I'm going to do a video a bit later on, so maybe it'll be in time for then. If not, it'll be tomorrow/Friday, very latest. But basically, we've got a new partnership with a firm that's going to be a sponsor for us, and we're going to be working very closely with them. We've got a couple of, and another partnership possibly going to be confirmed as well. And this is all going to tie together where people on a monthly basis can make a bit of money and also win some signed West Ham memorabilia. So I'm really excited, actually. I feel like this is a new chapter for the channel going forward, and especially for next season. So, but it will be coming into effect before then. So it's going to be basically, we're going to do a competition running between now and the end of the season, last 2 game weeks. That's the plan. So I'm hoping to have that confirmed today, as I say. But if not, it will be tomorrow or Friday at the very latest. So do keep your eyes peeled for that. Right, let's talk about transfer stuff. Let's talk about first of all, I want to talk about Nayef Aguerd. So it's come out from EXWHU employee that Aguerd, he exclusively revealed this on Monday, that Aguerd has informed West Ham of his intention to leave the club. Basically, West Ham had been in touch with him and his agent regarding this summer, what the plans are. We want to get the intention was, as far as I understand it, that Graham Potter wanted to bring Aguerd back to assess him and have a little look and see what's what. There had been talk that he'd been impressed with his performances over in Real Sociedad this season and was looking at the potential of, or the idea, of bringing him back into the fold at West Ham for next season. So I'm going to be honest, I was never really in favour of any of that. I've not really been impressed with Aguerd since he's come to the club, really. Not in terms of his ability, he's a good player. I've never really felt his attitude's been correct, to be honest. I felt that when he made the decision to not play for West Ham because he wanted to protect his fitness ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations, I felt that was an indication of the player, that that's where his priorities were. By the way, I'm not trying to suggest that he shouldn't care about his nation and playing in a big competition or anything like that. I understand, naturally, you're going to be thinking, I want to be in that competition, speak for my career. Totally understand that. But at the end of the day, you're a West Ham player. This is your bread and butter, as far as I'm concerned, and your commitment should be, for me, firstly for your football club. And when we didn't see that from him, I immediately had big doubts of him, and I just feel like we've not had that love from him. It was quite clear he wanted to leave. I know that there will be people that will say to me straight, well, hang on, it's because of David Moyes and the system. And I get that. And I get that what he had signed up to at West Ham possibly wasn't for him. But he had no real desire, in my opinion, to stay at West Ham anyway. We shipped him out on loan. His stock was low at this point. Got him out on loan, and let's be honest, it couldn't have gone any better. He's gone out to the La Liga, and he has performed really well, so much so that you've now got a lot of clubs sniffing around him. Sociedad want to sign him permanently. There's lots of options up there. I think there's Saudi interest as well. For me, from a West Ham perspective as well, I think you couldn't have asked for better. You've sent a player out, doesn't want to be here, a bit of a bad attitude. You're going to struggle to sell him. You think, oh God, what are we going to do with him? Ship him out on loan, hope it works out well. It now has worked out well. Let's cash in and sell him. I don't like this notion that we're getting from the media. I think it came from Talk Sport yesterday. suggesting that what a disaster this is for Graham Potter, what a nightmare, trying to paint this like bleak picture going into the summer. I'm really tired of it because we've had enough of bleak news all season. We've had a bleak bloody season. I want optimism going into the summer. And the last thing we need is the media painting a picture of what a disaster this is that Aguerd wants to leave. I don't know how it's seen as a disaster. As I've said, I think the loans worked out perfectly and we're getting rid of a player that doesn't want to be here anyway. So for me, cut ties, move him on. So I really am not bothered by the fact that Aguerd's turned around and said, yeah, I don't want to stay here. It's hardly so. I would have been more surprised had Aguerd wanted to come back to West Ham. If he'd said, yeah, I'm up for coming back next season, I'm up to do pre-season work under Potter, I would have been very shocked. So no surprises for me, no issues for me at all. I think this has been a really great loan for him, and good luck to the bloke because I'm sure he's a lovely fella. I'm not knocking him as a person at all. I think he's a huge talent. We know that, but I'm not convinced the Premier League's really for him, and I'm not convinced the attitude is right for us. I think I want someone fully committed to West Ham. I don't want someone that's not really there for the cause, and I just think that's what you're getting with Aguerd. Unfortunately, I feel like he is better suited elsewhere in the world in terms of leagues of football, and I think La Liga suits him very well. So that's my feelings on it, and it's pretty much confirmed that he will be sold. It's just where he goes now. As I say, Sociedad are very interested, but there's other teams out there. German clubs are very keen as well. Spain, as I've said, and also Saudi. So I feel like we're going to hopefully get I wouldn't say necessarily a bidding war. I think that might be a little bit too strong, but possibly a few clubs that are interested. I don't like what we're hearing from the agent, from Aguerd's agent. I think this again summarises the attitude issue that I've suggested. I think there's a problem there that the agent's trying to drive down the price. I don't like that, to try and get his player a move. I just think it's one of them transfers, hasn't really quite worked out. He has got a talent. We have seen it that he is a good player, but I just don't think the league's suited for him. Let's just cut ties and move him on. But that's my thoughts on it anyway. So that'll be the case, I think, this summer, that he will be another one that'll be heading for the exit. Might as well. How many have we got now? 14, 15 players? So yeah, that's my feeling on Nayef Aguerd. The other one I want to talk about before we get into the big news here is James McAtee. So James McAtee, of course, plays for Manchester City, has been at the club since he was 10 years old. He's 22 now, turning 23 this October. Listen, I'm a big fan of McAtee. I think he's a real talent, a good player. Another one that Manchester City have produced in their academy, which just seems to be a never-ending conveyor belt there of top players. I think the thing at Manchester City is they've got this wonderful academy, and it's very impressive. Obviously, we've seen their training facilities and how they do things. It's a really strong setup, and it is impressive. And as I say, this conveyor belt of talent just continually coming from that football club is quite mind-boggling, really, considering the fact, if you think of West Ham and the talent we've brought for over the years, there's always those gaps. You have a really good player, then there's a bit of a period where you don't, then you bring another good player. Manchester City just seems to be yearly, doesn't it? They've got a constant stream of top young players. The issue that they do have as a football club, though, because it's Man City and the riches they have and their ambitions in terms of challenging for titles and Champions Leagues and stuff, I feel like the opportunity at that football club is difficult. It's not easy. You know, you look at the academy players that have broke through at Man City. It's very hard. It's very hard. You've got to be exceptionally talented. McAtee, as I said, has broke through. He has been playing for Man City. But I get the feeling he is a player that needs more than the occasional appearance here and there. I think he is at that age now, 22 years of age, 23 this year, where he needs to be playing regularly for a Premier League club. That will see him thrive. It's nothing new for Man City. They do this all the time. You get Cole Palmer's obviously the sort of prime example of that, where he has been at that club, highly rated, but struggling to get into the team, making a couple of appearances here and there. But you could see he was a star. Then he goes to Chelsea. Look, he's their best player. I get the feeling McAtee sort of falls in similar to that. I feel like he's not necessarily saying he's going to be as big and as Cole Palmer, as successful as him, but there's no doubt there's a talent there. West Ham have been linked with him for quite a while. We've been very interested in this player, and he fits the mould of what Graham Potter is after, as far as I understand it, and he is someone of serious interest. So that's what we've got from EXWHUEMPLOYEE at the moment. He's just a player of serious interest at the moment. Very early days. There's no bids or anything, as far as I understand it. No big talks or anything. At the moment, the club are in the process of identifying the sort of final top list of targets, what they're going to go for, and then we'll obviously move into the summer. However, the big news is the talks that have been undertaken, that the talks are progressing with, and that's for Ardon Jashari. Jashari? Yeah, Ardon Jashari, a midfielder for Club Bruges. He's only 22 years old as well, Swiss international. He's a player that we have, not only have we got strong interest in, as others have as well, but we are in talks with. We've opened talks with the agent over a possible move this summer. I don't know too much about him, but his stats are pretty incredible in terms of his defensive record. He is an unbelievable ball winner. In fact, one of the top across Europe. He is remarkable. And this is one from EXWHU employee that's got meat on the bones. There is some serious interest here, and there is dialogue taking place now. And West Ham have clearly made him a key target already. This really pleases me on so many levels. One being the caliber of player, the age, etc. Brilliant, ticks lots of boxes. One thing that's really pleasing me and also giving me quite an element of relief at the moment, and it isn't done yet. Of course, we haven't got the player or anything like that. But if West Ham are to get this deal done, if West Ham can go in there, get this deal done quick and say, yeah, okay, we've got an agreement, he's coming over to West Ham this summer, I think it would alleviate a huge amount of fear that's currently that us West Ham fans are feeling going into the summer. I mean, certainly for myself, because I'm concerned of how we're going to do our business and how we're going to operate. We've got a head of recruitment that's never been a head of recruitment before. We've got we're moving away from using agents. I know that fans will say, well, that's a good thing. And I get it. You know, you're not just going to Will Sort House and saying, right, tell me what clients you've got. Let's go down that route. Totally understand it. But at the same time, this is an agent world in football, isn't it? They are big players when it comes to transfers. So the fact West Ham's head of recruitment, Carl McCauley, Potter, etc., are trying to move away from that, and it's struck a bit of fear into me, actually. I'm concerned that we're going into a summer and we're going to go in a bit blind or a bit naive. So if West Ham are able to showcase early doors, actually our approach works, and this is the way we're going to do it, then I would be really, really happy with that. So that is a player we're very keen on, and one that's likely, I think, to progress into something more than just interest, because that's obviously what you get at the moment. We also like his teammate Joel Ordonez. Is Ecuadorian international, is 21 years of age, although Chelsea and Arsenal are also interested, so it's likely to face a fair amount of competition to sign him, so he's a Club Bruges teammate as well. But as I say, at the moment, it's a case that Jashari is our main target at the moment for the midfield position, and I'm just pleased. I'm pleased for the players we're getting linked with. I think it's a good sign at the moment. As I say, early days. It's not, certainly not popping champagne corks or anything like that yet, but it's nice to know we're starting to show that we're on the front foot a little bit here, that we're identifying the right type of players. Talks are underway with certain players for ages, and I'm thinking, okay, these are good signs. Is a good sign. So I was getting a little bit worried that it was a lot of attention on who we're selling, but we're not really bringing anybody in. And you're thinking, well, hang on, this is a big summer. We need to start seeing some movement there. And I think we are already seeing it. So that's really good news. So we're going to have some more videos coming out. Obviously, it's a big week this week, Lucas Paqueta situation. I haven't got any more updates on it at the moment. I'm kind of waiting, like fans, everyone waiting to hear what's going on. So hopefully we'll get some news on that soon. And as I say, just to reiterate what I was saying earlier, in terms of this competition, it's not so much a competition, it's a partnership, and it's going to offer fans a competition. I just think it's going to work really, really well. I'm really excited about it, but I can't give any details yet until it's all kind of signed and sorted out. But it's hopefully that'll be very soon. I'll have a video hopefully a bit later on as well today. So I'm going to go away now to do a few bits and bobs, a bit of writing and what have you, and then later on hopefully we'll have something else with a bit more exciting news of what's going on. But until then, have a good one. Enjoy the sunshine. Come on, your irons.